You're watching the 5 o'clock news.
That's the latest from Lower Manhattan. Back to you guys in the studio.
That's right. We've seen the video of him heading back, presumably to Trump Tower or the airport, heading back to Mar-a-Lago. Either way, over the past couple minutes, live on the screen as well. All right, let's go back to Cary London now with a little bit more reaction. So, of course, we all know this is heading towards an appeal. On the same note, the judge in the case also knew this would also be the most scrutinized case potentially of all time, and tried to do everything he could to make it appeal-proof.
Yes and no. I think the judge knew because he came from a Democratic background and because Donald Trump was tweeting all of this negative stuff about him that he was preconceived to find him guilty. I think that Judge Merchant did try, but I think there was one objection sustained during closings when Todd Blanche said, you're going to send someone to prison over the word of a professional liar. And Judge Merchant sustained that objection, yelled at the defense attorney in front of the jury, and then gave
you can't do that. As an attorney, you can't do that in front of the jury. You can't let them know what the repercussions of their decision is. You know that.
I've tried hundreds of cases in all of my summations.
But you would know not to do that, right?
I say that. You say that. It's commonplace. You're allowed to see, technically under the law, you can't talk about sentencing, but you say, you're really going to convict this guy, you're going to send him to jail over the word of this person.
But that's sending him to jail. I mean, isn't that the same thing?
Yes
you know
and
it
no.
is.
Yes and no, but I didn't think that was a good objection.
Okay.
But I think,
let's talk about the appeals process now, and you're talking about maybe a different team of lawyers. What is something that they have to do this time around that would get this appeal to go through?
Well, they have to file a notice of appeal within 30 days, which I'm sure they will be filing today or tomorrow. And then they're going to have to get all the transcripts from the trial. The transcripts are the minutes from each witness, and they're going to go through every single ruling that was sustained, that was overruled. They're going to scrutinize the jury instructions. They're going to scrutinize the fact that Judge Merchant allowed Stormy Daniels to talk about not using protection during this alleged sexual encounter. Those are all things that were not relevant to this trial. But I think what no one's talking about, which should be at least briefly spoken about, was the road not taken here, the defense not taken. And I think that if Miliana was there, if she was there and she testified and she explained that maybe this...
Melania?
Melania, his wife. Maybe that this payment was made in furtherance of keeping the sanctity of marriage, in furtherance of keeping their family intact, versus to have the American, to persuade the American public that something didn't happen. I think that would have been a much better defense than these payments were just made to Michael Cohen for legal fees. I think Michael Cohen could have made these payments in defense of the sanctity of his marriage, to protect his marriage, and not to, you know, make the American people think something that didn't happen happened.
But then we're going into federal election law, and that is very dicey, and you have to be very well versed at federal election law to tell, you know, what's for one and what's for none. So we're going to turn things over now to Linda Schmidt, who's back on the scene there. She's been talking to quite a few people throughout the afternoon, and as this has broken, Arthur Aidala, a former judge, she has the very latest on what's going on there right now.
All right, Linda.